Hey, what's up, witches? I'm Valen Fish and Oracle. Sorry for the delay in posting this, but it seems I'm going through an upgrade of some sort, so I'm very exhausted, and I have a very intense third eye headache. I was really shaky last night, and I slept for a few hours, but then at around 4 a.m. it was like I couldn't go back to sleep. So I wonder if anybody else has been experiencing this, especially the 4 a.m. club, 3 a.m. club, and dreaming women. So yeah, I'm just gonna tell you a couple of my favorites for protection rituals for the house, and then one for like you and your family and whatever. So if you live in a house and whether you rent or not, it doesn't matter, but if you live in a house, you can take eggshells, crushed up eggshells. It's my favorite is to use eggshells, and sprinkle it around your home on the outside. You want to go clockwise and say, some sort of like protection affirmation or something. It could be like, these eggshells, they are protecting my home from harm, whether that's physical, mental, psychic, emotional, whatever. But do whatever feels called to you. So there's no rules in witchcraft. You can literally do whatever feels called to you. If you live in an apartment or a duplex, like I live in a duplex, so I don't like, I have done the eggshell thing outside, but it just felt really like awkward to do so. But you totally can. For the inside, you can use the 4 elements to so you'll need a cup of water, preferably with a little bit of salt. Speaking of salt, do not sprinkle salt outside. It will destroy the earth. So you can use any protection herb that you have. It could be witch hazel, lavender, rosemary, yeah, whatever you have on hand. You can also use cinnamon too. But yeah, okay, back to inside. Okay. So you want to make sure that before you start this protection ritual that you cleanse the inside of your home, whether that be through smoke or sound. Smoke you can use, if it's ethical for you to use sage or Palo Santo or cedar, rosemary are good options if it's not ethical or not a part of your practice, to use sage or Palo Santo. And then sound, you could literally like clap throughout your house, or use a bell. And when you're cleansing your home, you want to start at your front door and go counterclockwise. Make sure you have, a couple windows open so whatever negative or stagnant energy is inside will, have somewhere to go. And then you want to have a candle, preferably black, but it's not. You can use white. You could use a tea light candle. You could even use an electronic one, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's more about the intention. So when you're building a protection ward, because that's what this is, first and foremost, you want to make sure you cleanse, because when you build a ward, whatever is in the house will stay trapped in there. So you do have to take down the ward every few months, about quarterly. I like to time it with the Sabbats, the pagan holidays, whatever you want to call them. So yeah. So you want to start at your front door, and you want to go clockwise. If you live in a multi-level home, you want to make sure that you get the other levels of your home. So you want to have an incense of some sort, because you need something for air. So you don't necessarily need incense if you don't have it. If you have like a feather or something else that represents air, and that can work too. So you're gonna need something to represent air, something to represent fire, something to represent water, and something to represent earth. So you want to go clockwise around the home, starting at your front door, and say, like, I bless this house with protection, or whatever you feel called to say, right? Like, whatever your intention is. Because that's the beautiful thing about witchcraft, is it can literally just be whatever your intention is. And yeah, so you just want to go one by one with each element, invoking the elements as you're doing this, and of course giving gratitude and thanks. And yeah, so your water, it doesn't have to have salt, but I think that it would be beneficial if it does have salt if you're doing it inside the house. If you're doing it outside the house, do not use salt. We want to protect Mother Gaia, okay? And then if you, and then for Earth, I mean, you could literally choose whatever you want, whatever herb you feel called to use, like the ones I mentioned before. Again, I love using crushed eggshells, but that could just be because it's like I don't know. It's typically a Mexican practice. So whenever I do it, I feel really like close to my ancestors. But you can pretty much use whatever herb you want to for earth. You can even use dirt if you have dirt. I don't know, whatever you want to do. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are like a couple of my favorites. As far as like your family goes, so if you have like a brown paper bag or brown parchment paper, you want to like rip off a big enough piece for everybody that lives in your home, because you're gonna put the full name of each member that lives in the home, their date of birth, and you're gonna put it in a jar with water. I would say to use, if you've collected snow, use that water. If you've collected storm water, eclipse water, full moon water, whatever, then that's like highly suggested, but doesn't. If you haven't done any of those things, that's totally fine too. You can just use water from tap, and pour it into the jar with the brown piece of paper that has everybody's names and date of birth, and then you're gonna set it in the sun. So I live in a south facing house, so this one's a little tricky for me, but I just try to have it outside when the sun is up, and is like, because it does kind of glare in sometimes. So or if you have an east or west facing window, then you can just put it in the window. I don't have either of those. It's fine. And then this one, you want to do this monthly. My suggestion is to do it each new moon, but since we're still in the full moon energy, then whatever. But yeah, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. Okay, love you, bye.